हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, नमस्कार। तो आप सब अच्छे होंगे अपने अपने घर में। एंड नाउ मोस्ट ऑफ यू आर गोइंग टू स्कूल आल्सो, क्योंकि लॉकडाउन पीरियड इज ऑलमोस्ट ओवर और शुक्र है भगवान का कि हम सब ठीक ठाक हैं। सो स्टूडेंट्स, टुडे आई एम गोइंग टू टेक अ फिजिक्स टॉपिक विच इज हेल्पफुल फॉर 11th क्लास स्टूडेंट्स, for NEET examination, for JEE examination, so and all other examinations where this topic is in syllabus. So today we are going to learn some concepts related to heat and thermodynamics. So let us start our class. So students, in heat and thermodynamics chapter, what we do, we will come to know about the heat changes, how heat transfers, how heat is generated, what are the factors responsible. Okay, so let us see heat and thermodynamics. In this we will try to understand the phenomena involving thermal changes, heat changes, and how does a matter behave in that case. So here we study number 1 is thermal expansion. First our topic will be thermal expansion, and second is heat and calorimetry. Heat and calorimetry. And third thing here is heat transfer. So various types of principles are involved in these concepts. So one by one we will take all of them. This is very important topic of physics. So I wish you concentrate on my video very carefully. So let us start. Thermal expansion. First of all, what we do, we try to know about the temperature and heat. What is that? Temperature. What is this temperature? Temperature is indicator of heat. Okay, if its value is low, it will tell us that cool environment is there. But if the temperature's value is more, means hot environment is there. So temperature is a relative measure of hotness or coolness of a body. Temperature is relative measure of hotness or coolness of a body. Remember this. This is what we call as temperature, whose SI unit is Kelvin, and if we talk about in terms of common naming, then commonly used unit is either degree Celsius or degree Fahrenheit. So students, these are the units of temperature. Now one thing is clear, that what is temperature. Second phenomena is heat. Guess कीजिए how you will define heat in easy terms. Heat, shabash. Heat is a form of energy flow. Yes, heat is a form of energy flow. But how? The question is how. So there are two things in this. How this energy flow takes place. Number one is between two bodies. flow of energy between two bodies. But there should be temperature difference. Only then the heat flow will take place. And second thing is that between a body and its surroundings. Between a body and its surroundings. This is how we discuss heat. Heat is a form of energy which flows between two bodies or which flows between a body and its surroundings. Okay. Now, how we measure the temperature first? We will try to understand how we measure the temperature. So, write down measurement of temperature. Measurement of temperature. So we have scales for this. So students, Celsius and Fahrenheit temperature scales. Celsius and Fahrenheit temperature scales are there. Okay. In Celsius scale, what we do? In Celsius scale, compare कर लेते हैं इनको, and in Fahrenheit scale, what we have here is, तो याद रखिए, in Celsius scale, ice point or freezing point, mostly what we take of water, that is 0 degrees Celsius, and steam point, generally we call it as boiling point. ठीक है, और ये कितना होगा? You everybody know, पढ़ा ही है ज़्यादातर, 100 degrees Celsius. In Fahrenheit scale, ice point is 32 degree Fahrenheit, and steam point is 212 degree Fahrenheit. These are the basic indicators that what is the difference in both of the scales. Values are different. Okay. Now what it tells? हमें ये क्या बता रहा है? हमें ये क्या बता रहे हैं स्केल आपस में? How they are related? क्या उनके बीच में कोई relation? Is there some relation between Celsius and Fahrenheit scales? Or how can we get the result if we are given values in Celsius? How can we find it out in Fahrenheit or vice versa? So let us see how we do that. What is its meaning? It implies that 100 degrees, or you can say 100 divisions in Celsius scale are equal to how much? 180 scale divisions of Fahrenheit scale. So write down, students. Write down 100 divisions in Celsius scale are equivalent to 180 divisions in Fahrenheit scale, and the relation becomes, then we will find a term of type of relationship. TF minus 32 अपॉन 180 किसके लिए है ये? फ़ारेनहाइट में टेम्परेचर, TF टेम्परेचर इन फ़ारेनहाइट इज इक्वल टू TC अपॉन 100. यहां से आपको ये 180 प्लस 32 212 द वैल्यू जो उसमें पहले लिखा था हमने कंपेयर करते वक्त. So TF minus 32 upon 180 is equal to TC upon 100, where TF is temperature in Fahrenheit and TC is temperature in degree Celsius. Degree Celsius. So this is the relationship. Remember this. This is the relationship which is very important to solve basic questions related to this concept only. Okay, students. So, suppose you are asked to represent it graphically, both of the scales and relation between them, then what would you do? You will draw a graph where it is TF and it is TC. 212 divisions करेंगे. So if it comes 212 comes here, okay, then it will be like this. Like this. So 100 divisions of temperature on Celsius scale comes here and 212 comes here. This is the graphical representation of relationship between both. You can write it here as, let it be 0. It is temperature in Fahrenheit and temperature in degree Celsius. Temperature in degree Fahrenheit and here temperature in degree Celsius. So graphical representation will be like this. So you can do it easily now. Now students, we try to understand what is absolute temperature scale. What is absolute temperature scale? Absolute temperature scale. So let us see what is this. Okay, we will discuss it in detail. So students, now we will try to understand what is absolute temperature scale. So it is called as, it is actually what? Kelvin scale. That is called as absolute temperature scale. This is actually Kelvin scale. Okay? Next. Now you see on Kelvin scale, what is ice point? ये note करना है. And what is steam point? Means boiling point. So everybody should note it. Ice point and steam point Kelvin scale पे कितने हो जाएंगे? So you know 273.15 Kelvin, 0 degree Celsius, and 100 degrees Celsius, what will be? 273.15 plus 100. So it will be 373.15 Kelvin. These are the ice point, means freezing point, and steam point, boiling point on Kelvin scale. So this you should note carefully. Now, how can we compare Kelvin scale and degree Celsius scale? So we have a relationship here also for that. So it is what? TC means temperature on Kelvin scale minus 0 degree. Note it, 0 degree upon Kelvin scale has 100 points. So 100 division, so upon 100 equals to TK, temperature on Kelvin scale, minus 273.15 Kelvin upon 100. So this is the relationship which you have to apply while solving the question based on this concept. Note it carefully. Kelvin scale is called absolute scale. So there might be some sort of concept behind it. Why is it called as absolute scale? Try to understand. Think upon it. क्या हो सकता है? What should be there? So I'll tell you this also. Why it is called absolute scale? Because in this scale, it is impossible to go beyond 0 Kelvin. So Kelvin scale is called as absolute temperature scale. This is the reason behind this. Remember this. Now we try to understand. Note it. You can take screenshot of it also. Now we compare the different kinds of temperature scales. We compare different types of temperature scales. Comparison of different temperature scales. तो बच्चों कौन कौन से टेम्परेचर स्केल्स आपने पढ़े हैं अभी? We have कौन कौन से? शाबाश. Kelvin scale, Celsius scale and Fahrenheit scale. Kelvin scale, Celsius scale, and we have Fahrenheit scale. So you have to draw in this way. Okay. So here we draw different things. What? Absolute zero. Suppose it is the absolute zero on Kelvin scale. Absolute zero, that is 0 Kelvin. Now we will also compare here. What would be here? Boliye shabash. Absolute zero is equal to minus 273.15 on degree Celsius. And what should be there on Fahrenheit? Note this. it should be minus 496.67 degree Fahrenheit. And suppose, students, we have now two things, ice point and steam point. Shabash. Ice point and steam point. So on Kelvin scale, as we have already discussed, ice point is what? 273.15 Kelvin. 273.15 Kelvin. Degree Celsius. What is the steam point? Oh, sorry, ice point. 0 degree Celsius. And on Fahrenheit scale, what should come in place? 0 degree is equal to 32 degree Fahrenheit. And if we talk about steam point, then it will be 373.15 Kelvin, and here it is 100 degrees Celsius. But Fahrenheit, the data will change. So it is what? 212 degree Fahrenheit. So this is how we can compare the three types of temperature scales. Okay. So now how we measure the devices? What are the devices? So the device to measure this is thermometer. Thermometer. So there are various types of thermometers right now. Mercury thermometers are there. Then we have gas thermometers are there. So in terms of physics, what we do here, we have liquid in gas. Liquid in gas thermometer. This is one of the kind of a thermometer with which we can measure the temperature. Oh, sorry. Liquid in glass, not gas, liquid in glass thermometer. So it is there. Then we have platinum resistance thermometer. Platinum resistance thermometer. This is also a kind of thermometer. And next we have constant volume gas. Constant volume gas thermometer. These are the types of, these are the basics, basic gadgets or devices which work on certain parameters. Okay? So this is what we have on temperature scales, how we measure them. Then we have heat and calorimetry. Next topic is heat and calorimetry. So let us start with that. Heat and calorimetry. There, in this we will discuss principle of calorimetry. So when two systems are at different temperatures, then only heat flow will take place. Remember this. Okay, so now we have principle of calorimetry. What it states, try to understand that. It states neglecting the loss. Okay, beta? Neglecting the heat loss to the surroundings. Neglecting the heat loss to the surroundings. This is the condition. ये condition है for this law. We have to neglect the heat loss which has happened during a process or system Okay, which has happened during a processor system, the heat loss to the surroundings by a system. So neglecting the heat loss to the surroundings, heat lost by body at higher temperature is equal to the heat gained by body at lower temperature, or simply you can say heat lost is equal to heat gained by the body. So this is the law of or principle of calorimetry. Now we have various phenomena in this, which we will discuss in the next class when we will try to understand the various concepts involved in this. ठीक है बेटा? So this was this. Now next, what is there in the chapter? How the heat transfer, modes of heat transfer. Now we will try to discuss modes of heat transfer. क्या क्या मोड है जिनके थ्रू की हीट का ट्रांसफर होता है? So there are three modes of heat transfer. Number one is conduction, and number two is convection, and number three is radiation. Now try to understand conduction, convection and radiation. Now try to understand all these terms, what happens in these terms. First we try to understand what is conduction, or you can say what is thermal conduction. In this process, thermal energy means heat energy. Thermal energy means heat energy is transferred from hotter part of the body to hotter part of the body to cooler part. ठीक है ना? So hotter part of the body to colder one or colder one. This is one type of definition of conduction. Remember this. Note के लिए कर लीजिए इसको. Or you can say this is transfer of thermal energy from hot body to cold body. Simple definition. This is your conduction. Now we will try to understand what is convection actually. What we can call as convection. This is transfer of heat from one part of body to another part of body. देखिए इसमें और उसमें थोड़ी सी सिमिलैरिटी आ रही है ऊपर की लाइन में. Body by actual movement of heated material particles. By actual movement of heated material particles. This is convection. or you can say particles from a place of higher temperature to a place of lower temperature. So students, this is the definition of convection. How does this happens? Or suppose करिए if the medium is forced to do this with the help of some medium like fan वगैरह, उससे heat को आप transfer करवा रहे हो, that is called forced convection. We have forced it to do that. So that is forced convection. And last one you have is radiation. So we will try to understand what is radiation. Transfer of heat. Radiation is what? Transfer of heat. ये तो भाई आप पूछोगे सब में हो रहा है. Then why it is called radiation? Radiate होगा. That's why it is radiation. Transfer of heat. Or you can say transmission of heat. अगर proper definition आपने लिखना है, so it will be transmission. Word change करिए. Transmission of heat. How? Think. कैसे होगा फिर ये? In which heat travels directly from one place to another. In which heat travels directly from one place to another without the agency of any intermediating medium, without agency of any intervening medium. This is called radiation. तभी तो radiations आ रही हैं sun की. No medium is there. तो होता कैसे है वो? Radiation takes place. फिर होगा कैसे भाई? Radiation takes place in the form of EM waves, means electromagnetic waves. Remember this. It takes place in the form of electromagnetic waves. So students, in first video on heat and thermodynamics, I have tried to make the basis for this chapter only. We have done some basic things, not all the basic concepts, but some basic concepts, and we have discussed all that. And what is temperature, what is heat, how the temperature, different temperature scales are related, what are the various forms of heat, what are the various forms by which the heat transfer takes place. So in the next video we will try to understand other concepts related to, like specific heat, molar specific heat, enthalpy, entropy, so and other phenomena related to thermodynamics. So we will, I think this video is also helpful for us, so get benefited by it, and we will meet in the next video. Thank you students.